How are you doing, Queen?
I am really good. Like, I wasn't sure if I was going to make it today.
Okay.
We had some crazy storms
Mm,
crack off last night, power outages everywhere. Freeways flooded, but thankfully my area is holding strong. So
okay.
not only
Okay.
do I have power, I have internet. So it's
Yeah,
good.
yeah. I'll tell you what, it's when stuff like that happens, it's a humbler.
It really is.
You don't see how reliant or how enjoyable simple conveniences are, like having lights where you go to the bathroom, is
Right?
until it happens when you don't have them. So, uh,
That
you
is,
know,
you know what? We just got rid of one of our televisions
okay.
because I mean it's like a 60-inch TV, but it's old and it's not a smart TV. And so we were like, you know what? It's time to upgrade and get a
Okay.
smart TV to replace that one.
Sure.
But you know what? When you don't have internet, it's not very smart.
No, it's not. No, it's not at all. That's a very, very good point. Now, you know that. Now, listen, I can't. I don't want you to be mad at me, but I have to. We have to establish something. I know. How can I do this? Oh my gosh, how can I do this?
What do we do?
I know your team, Donatello.
Is that a
You know,
katana?
yes, it is.
Mm.
One of many. So that's my number one. Okay.
I'm glad we got that out of the way early.
Oh no. We're not finished yet. So this will be my number two.
Wow. Is that real?
This one is not sharp. Yes, it's more. It's a practice. It's a practice side.
That is really cool though.
Thank you, ma'am. I was really nervous about having to show you these items because you got Donnie sitting right there with you, so it's like, man, okay.
We stay ready, Donatello. But what I always say is I love all of the brothers, right? I just love Donatello the most.
Mm-hmm.
I am saddened that it's Leonardo and Raphael. So you don't have a bow staff.
No.
Okay.
No. Though I had nunchucks, but I broke those a while ago. But aside, I have plenty of katanas. So.
Wow. That's really cool though. So you practiced, and I'm gonna have to see a video of you actually doing something. Don't hurt yourself though.
Well, here two things, and it's interesting because this leads me to a question that I was wondering about. For you to be and we'll peel back a couple other layers too, because you are retro is your thing, and martial arts are retro too. So, but to tunnel vision it, being that you are a huge fan of the Turtles, have you please tell me you trained martial arts at least once?
I have.
Okay, nice. Tell me.
Yeah, I have. I didn't get very far. I did it from I want to say I was a small child till about like junior high school or something like that, and worked my way up to like a purple belt, which is fitting, right? But
Right.
I did not get past that, and that was just not because I lost any love, for the sport and the history of it all. It was just sports, and scholarships and all that type of stuff. I didn't have time for it, but I'm a fan of it very much.
Now, do you think that you'd ever pick it back up? Like what discipline did you train for the amount of time that you did? And do you think that you'd ever delve back into it again, just being a fan of the Turtles? I was just curious because that's definitely a part of it in terms of martial.
It is. Yeah, it was. I had 2 classes. I was doing just basic, like karate, and then I was doing like jujitsu type stuff. I really enjoy it a lot. I just wish I had more time for it.
Sure. Yeah, it is time consuming. You're right about that.
Very much.
You touched on something I was going to ask you about as well, Ms. Collegiate Athlete. What were your sport? What was your sport or your sports? And then I've seen pictures of you flexing about gamer stuff, and you look to be fit. So clearly, you are still active in terms of taking care of yourself, which is a good thing.
Oh yes, very much. I try to be active at least 6 days a week. Sundays are my days off.
Okay.
I'm a firm believer if you're only as old as you feel, so I try to keep it together. But it's interesting, my sport that got me through school was softball.
Nice. Okay.
It was a full scholarship with softball. The sport that I really enjoyed playing the most was basketball. I was a point guard. I got amazing hands. You know, I ain't got a little jumper. But the sport that I was best at was actually field hockey. Because I was fast and I was strong, so I was a forward.
Okay.
And, you know, I enjoyed field hockey a lot, but at that time, because I'm old, they weren't offering full scholarships to women in that sport. And they were all East Coast. And, you know, not knocking anything, but I grew up in a very majority white environment.
Okay.
So my goal was to go to a school with some culture. I wanted to go to historical Black college, and you know, all the field hockey schools are predominantly white. So not that, you know, it wasn't, I just wanted to see something different. And I did, but I still came back to California. It was a little much.
No, hey, you know what? It's what you decided to do, and that's, hey, that works.
Yes.
Now, being as into, the retro, and you speak you're fluent in geek culture as well. Do you find that you? I mean, you're a unicorn in my opinion, and in my experience, because I personally don't know a lot of sisters that's off into the geek culture and that's into retro things the way that you are. And my question is, have you? I mean, how do you feel about how you've been received as far as that's concerned? Because like guys, you know, I've been in the geek culture a long time, you know, since I was a kid, a cub, you know. So, you know, it's changed. Once upon a time, you weren't very popular as a guy for liking those kinds of things.
Right.
Geeks now have no idea how blessed they are now in terms of how it's so embraced versus back when I was coming up, you know, or we were coming up.
Yeah.
But do you feel as though how do you tell me about how you've been embraced? Have you been embraced in terms of our people and as a whole?
I would say very much so. Yeah. Very, very loving, very welcoming. Yeah, it's been great. And if it hadn't had been for the turtle community, the blurred community, you know, just all out, just people who like, you know, just nerdy type stuff. And I say that in a positive way. I wouldn't be sitting here with you because, you know, that's just how it started. I posted a few things, and they just, you know, the communities just welcomed me in and made it easy for me to be comfortable sharing things that I was passionate about, you know. And if they hadn't have been like that, you wouldn't even know that I existed, because I'm pretty quiet and I keep to myself.
Okay, sure. Now, retro, you have love for retro.
I do.
What are your top 5 things of retro that you love?
Top 5 things of retro.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Top 5 things.
The first thing that pops up in my mind would be like Blockbuster. Like going to we used to go Friday nights, we'd go to Blockbuster. My mother would pick out a movie, and me and my brother would each get to pick out a video game to rent.
Nice.
So that became, you know, tradition, and we really looked forward to Fridays. Obviously Nintendo, you know, because that's I'm a huge Nintendo fan girl.
Okay.
Nintendo has created, you know, a lot of good friendships and an unbreakable bond between me and my brother. Ninja Turtles, right? You know, they're very retro. I started with the cartoons. So that was my thing, was going to school, and then me and my brother would get to watch the cartoons after school.
Okay.
What else? Like anything retro. Gosh, I don't, that's pretty much like my top 3.
Okay, that works. Fine, good deal. Now, within the Nintendo realm, what would be the top 3 categories of gaming that you enjoy? Super Mario, Okay, classic.
Right? Donkey Kong series.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got to put them back to back because they're tied. It would be like Double Dragon and like Final Fight. You know, those type of beat 'em up games. Those are those are my blood right there.
Okay, nice. Oh man, when you threw the fighting games, I had to take a moment, you know, because again, I mean, being a martial artist myself, and then just the turtles. Martial arts is martial arts heavy, so it's like, you know, whenever I fight, you know, it just yes. Yes.
I remember like me and my brother would sneak down the street to this restaurant. It was called Rico's Pizza, and they had amazing pizza, but we couldn't afford it. But they had like they always had 4 arcade games, right? And then the ones that stuck around the longest was Turtles in Time, The Simpsons, Mortal Kombat, and Street Fighter, right? And we would go there. We definitely wanted to play Turtles, but we would go there to play Mortal Kombat because it was not allowed in our home, right? My parents would not let that game in our house. And we adored that game. And it wasn't even that, I mean, it was graphic, but it wasn't even that realistic at the time. But that game was like, you know, the sneak around game that you wish you could bring home.
Yes, because it up until that point, it had never been done. You've never seen blood in a video game like that before.
Like that, right?
Yeah. No, were they in fatalities? Yeah, I remember. I definitely remember. Now, who would you say now is your brother into retro as well? I know he's into Turtles because when I showed the katana earlier, I meant to tell you, I'm sorry, but I'm team brother. You know? I gotta go with bro with Leonardo. He and I, he's like unofficially my best friend because
wow.
He named the clip I see. He named the characteristics that he's in charge. And see, we gotta talk about the computer generated CGI film TMNT that came out in that fight. Okay, remember when Raph was in his street gear? Yeah. And fought, and how effortlessly he kind of picked, or Leo kind of picked him apart, and he uppercutted him, and that helmet flew off. Yeah. If he wasn't wearing that helmet, he probably would have knocked him out.
He probably would have knocked him out. That is one of the most epic fighting scenes, you know, for the Ninja Turtles. That fight scene between Leo and Raphael. Yeah.
You know, so they never, at least, and you can correct me because you are the brilliant extraordinaire. So you far exceed mine as that goes with the Turtles. So I don't remember ever seeing that kind of a depiction of Donatello in terms of visually, motion picture, or like visually what we could make in the comics maybe, but not in
not that way. But I mean you know, we're talking about TMNT 2007. That whole movie, I mean, Donatello was pretty much irrelevant in that movie. It was basically mostly just Leonardo and you know, Raphael's stories. So I mean, it was Donatello. He did not get he didn't get much love in that movie. Yeah, but yeah, we hadn't really seen him like that. I wish we could have got to see more of his character in that movie.
Sure, agreed. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that came out, the first live action film that came out. I can't remember what year it was, but I know you know what I'm talking about.
I should. Was it like 1989?
Probably.
I have a poster up there. I should know, but yeah, it was a long time ago.
In my opinion, I think from that franchise, that first film was probably the best. The first two, if I had to say, because the other ones, I seen previews, you know, as a kid, and they just didn't really grab me. But the first one, of course, I think was an instant classic. The second one was decent. How do you feel about the Michael Bay version? The first one. The second one I didn't watch all the way through. It was kind of goofy to me. I'm gonna watch it again just to confirm.
Yeah, I am also gonna do that. I'm gonna go back and watch them again. have to be honest and say that I am the minority in my opinion of the Michael Bay movies. I recognize what he was trying to do. With the action and, you know, all that kind of stuff. But I didn't think it was horrible. I just didn't think it was great.
Okay.
Right? Me and my brother, we went to go see it in the theater when it came out. And at first, you know, we hadn't had a movie like this in a while for the Ninja Turtles, right? And especially that high impact energy, action, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I was thrown off that they were giant size when they were supposed to be little guys. They didn't look the greatest. You know, people want to nitpick, you know, how they sounded, especially, you know, Donatello. It does seem like throughout the years, his voice gets higher and higher and higher. And, you know, they're just trying to express, you know, that he's great. And I get that. But I didn't leave the theater thinking, wow, that was so great. I left the movie feeling like, all right, that was cool. You know, so I know a lot of the turtle community, like, they hate it. They thought it was awful. It was abomination. It was, you know, the worst thing ever. It was not the worst thing ever that we've had in the turtle thing, but it wasn't great. So yeah, we're really looking forward to see, you know, what Seth Rogen's going to put together with the Mutants in Mayhem coming out this year.
Oh, did that drop this year?
It drops in August, a couple days before my birthday.
Oh, nice. Okay, good deal. Did they
You know, I'm excited. I am renting out the theater. Okay.
I bet tickets on pre-order. Have they dropped the trailer for that yet? No.
They have not dropped the official trailer for that. No, they've just given a date. It is TBD, so we are hoping that it might be released a little bit sooner. But you know, just from the things that have been said, I don't know for sure, but I think August 4th is a hard date as of right now.
Okay. You know, just to kind of piggyback with what you were saying about the film, I think it's one of those things. I go to the movies to be entertained, and most of us do. And like you said, it wasn't the best depiction, and it definitely had its issues. But certain things, like what I enjoyed, or what I remember enjoying about it, was, and that's something that we can appreciate if you look at film and technology and what they were capable of doing when we were kids, as opposed to what they could do now. The way those dudes was moving when they was going through the sewer or jumping off of rooftops and stuff,
right?
How they could really upplay their enhanced abilities and the gymnastics and I love that element of it. You know, showing them running and it's nighttime and you see more shadows and they doing no-handed cartwheel. You know, that part of it I love.
Right. Yes.
And I don't know if it's the martial artist in me or if it's just, you know.
It might be a little bit, but, you know, you're just not there are a lot of things to appreciate in, you know, those series. Yeah, that type of stuff was really, really cool. So I don't know why, you know, we're not talking about it more, but whatever.
Hey, like you said, we'll see what they do in August, you know.
We will.
But so you have any kind of partiality whatsoever as it relates to the Venus de Milo or the Jenica? Is it Janika or Jenica character?
I believe it's Jenica. Yeah. No, and again, I don't know. Maybe I just tend to look at things as, you know, a glass half full.
Okay.
But I've started to go back and really watch you know, the series with Venus, and I think in general her character is pretty dope. I just don't think that they did a really good job. Well, they didn't do a really good job with that series, period, right? So her character didn't seem that strong because of the way that they depicted her and the way they depicted the whole series. But I mean, she's a shinobi, right? So she's very skilled, which when we first meet her, she whoops all four of them. And then she's got, these telepathic powers. So essentially, I mean, I think that character could be more evolved and down the road, which I think in the IDW comics, they are bringing her back and doing a better job of showing her strengths. But I also think they're changing things about her. So with that being said, I tend to favor Venus over Jenica because Venus was an actual turtle that was mutated, right? Where Jenica was a human that turned into a turtle. So I favor Venus that way because she's an original Ninja Turtle. Apparently there were 5 turtles in the jar, and Venus was one of them. But as far as like badass, well, Jenica's pretty hardcore, so it's difficult not to like her. But she's another character that I think needs to be explored more. She's got some comics that talk a little bit more about her story, but there's still not a whole lot. I think they can go into more. So for me, it's like comparing apples to oranges.
Okay.
So I don't really favor one more than the other, but I do tend to like Venus more because of her backstory. It's similar to the brothers.
Okay, that works. I can understand that. Who's the bigger fan between you and your brother as it relates to turtles? And did he? Okay, really? So,
period.
Will he agree or disagree with? Will he agree or disagree with this statement?
You know what? I think in his heart he agrees, but because he's my brother and he wants to make life difficult for me, he would disagree. But maybe now, if we touch base on this, discussion down the line, maybe it could be subject to change because he's just now really starting to develop a social media presence and show off his passion for turtles. Where he's a new dad. His son's like a year old. He's newly married. He's a couple years married, so he's got some priorities that he's got to take care of. His wife did allow him to put some of his turtles in their living room, so he's making progress. But it's I don't know, like some of our turtles that we had in the past as children got left in my parents' house. So when my mother said, come get these, or we're giving them away to Goodwill or something, I was the first one there. So I think that shows right then and there who
I mean, that's fair. That's a fair assessment. That is a fair assessment. Congratulations to your brother in 2 years of marriage, as well as the birth of the baby. And congratulations to you too, Auntie. Wait a minute. What was that face? Was the delay?
I'm still working on, it's just weird, just having a smaller human being that I'm related to. So I'm still getting used to that name, Auntie.
Okay. I mean, well, being that you're the bigger fan, this means theoretically that the responsibility falls on you to instill certain half-shell tendencies and make sure the baby gets the proper diet of retro. Yeah, I'm just saying.
I'd like to, but my brother sent me a video of my nephew favoring Leonardo. So that pretty much put a wrap in our relationship.
Oh my gosh. That's terrible.
He's already, so I'm like, wow. So if he's corrupted, then now on the gaming side, I think I still have a chance. My brother and I, we like to play the same kind of games. So I can get with him on that. But as far as Ninja Turtles, what nephew?
But we just had a conversation earlier, and I showed you the katana and I showed you the sign. You're like, oh, that's fine. Those are just turtles, and we got a drop of blood between us.
Blood, though. This is blood. So I kind of find that as a level of disrespect.
Okay. And you know what? And you're right. I can understand that. I wasn't expecting this. That's hilarious. What in terms of with the gaming aspect of it all, I used to be a hardcore gamer when I was younger. As I got older, unfortunately, I let responsibilities choke the life out of that part of me, but I still see things. I'm still blown away with what they're doing and what they've done in recent years, looking at how games were when we were kids as opposed to what they developed into now. Now, being that you're a Queen Retro, do you find that you're still drawn to the games and the systems from old, or do you like the newer stuff as well?
Yeah, I'm a old soul, and I'm very loyal to things that have impacted my life in a positive way. And
Sure.
Nintendo is a huge impact on my childhood, and just other things. So naturally, when I come in this room for some time to myself, I'm usually picking up my RetroPie or my emulators, just because they're just convenient as far as playing the older games. Like, I just like playing the old, and they're still hard, so it's not like I've mastered all of these. The old school games are harder than most of the games that come out today. They were just difficult. You had less lives, less continues, if you had continues.
Right.
So yeah, I will play more retro games. I did learn a couple years ago during COVID that I enjoy RPGs. So I'll play some RPGs, and then I do enjoy gaming with others. So I'll play, Xbox or Nintendo Switch so that I can play with my friends. But when it comes to my own solitude, I'm putting on Super Mario Brothers 3, to play that, or going through F-Force, or, whatever. I just would rather play those games.
Right. Sure. Understandably so. Okay. Now, with your decor, I love your setup, by the way.
Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. Now, do you, in terms of how you decorated at home, do you have just your room specifically, or do you have stuff set up like throughout?
So this room specifically is gaming.
Okay.
I've got obviously like Ninja Turtle decor and whatever stuff, but this is where I keep all my retro consoles and all that kind of stuff. I'm also lightweight OCD, very organized. So I don't have stuff all over the place, but my living room, which is an open space, I don't have any couches or anything in there. It's just an extra room that I didn't need, is starting to kind of turn into my Ninja Turtle safe haven. I keep all my Ninja Turtle collectible stuff in there. I have them in glass cases, so it's organized. Mm-hmm. But I just had to order another glass case the other day because I was like, I don't have any space, and I just can't have space. Just stuff, like all over the place. I need to have it
organized,
neat. But other than those two rooms, I don't have stuff anywhere else.
Okay. I'm looking at that controller in the background. Did you draw that?
No, I didn't. I purchased that from a vendor, independent artists at a Comic-Con. Most of like the Ninja Turtle picture right here, some artists that I purchased from at a Comic-Con, most of the artwork in this room, I purchased from artists to support the small artists that are doing really dope stuff, and find a whole lot of original as far as, from pen to to paper, anywhere else. So I get most of my stuff from the Comic-Cons that I go to.
Okay. Now, would you be open to being a guest at the Comic-Con because of the fact that, I mean, your popularity and what it is that you present and how you present yourself? I mean, I feel like you would do great at a con. I'm surprised you haven't had invites already.
Oh gosh, I'm really flattered. I would love to.
Okay. I could see it for sure.
You know, when people ask me what's your goal with social media, I never really had a goal. It was just to post the stuff that I like sharing because I know other Turtle fans or gamers might like it too. But then once I started to develop a little bit of a following, I was thinking, you know what, at the end of the day, it would be kind of cool, right, to go to a con as a guest and get to talk about stuff, you know, that I enjoy talking about.
Sure.
When I went to the Granite State Con, when I went there to finally get to meet Kevin Eastman, I was thinking, wait, this maybe could happen in the future, because going through that con, I was so flattered that people were coming up to me and recognizing me from Instagram, you know, or TikTok or whatever, which is also weird to me because I'm an introvert, and having people come up to me that I don't know scares me.
Gotcha. Sure.
But I thought it was really cool, you know, that people were like, hey, you're Queen G. And I was like, yeah. You know what if I could one day just be at a con, get to talk about turtle stuff and get to talk about turtle stuff and meet new people who like talking about turtle stuff. That would just be really cool.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, with how you present, what you present, I could definitely see it. I'm not surprised that we're having this conversation. You said you're an introvert. I would submit to you that you would be almost a introvert with extrovert tendencies, because of the fact that we can have this conversation. And the reason why I make that theoretical observation in you is because I am an introverted with extrovert tendencies, you know? Like
yes. That's what that's called then? I think it's an introvert with extrovert tendencies. I've been introduced by like my friends or whatever, and they would be like, you know, here's Queen and she's the life of the party, and they're serious. And I'm just like, but if I'm comfortable, right, in my environments, then yes, I guess I have extrovert tendencies. At a con, right, being around other people who like the same stuff, it's easy to talk to them because they're all nerds and gamers with me, right? So, but like if you like going to a dinner with people I don't know, or going to like back in the day, going to the club, like I was the one trying to get out of the way because I'm like, I don't know you.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, I would submit to you, that's wisdom, being wise. You know, you ain't supposed to just warm up to just anybody and start talking about stuff with anybody.
Right.
People got intentions. You know? I'm just saying, so I feel you on that.
That's too much.
No, really. I mean, but the thing about it, and here's the thing, because it's not, most times it's not even about us, it's about other people. And I said that to say, you got to remember, and this is the slick part about it, where this probably would help that extrovert and you come out a little bit more, and I know it helps me. And that is simply this: what you're bringing smiles and happiness in what you do and how you present things. You're helping people. You know what I mean? For the person that's nervous and the person that's just a straight introvert, they see you doing it. And you're an introvert, but it's like, wow, she's reaching beyond her comfort zone to share what it is that she loves with others and inspiring them and encouraging them. You know, so you know what I mean? If there was ever a reason to shift into that extrovert personality, I mean, there it is, man. Because it brings people together. The love for retro things, the love for the Turtles, the love for video games. It brings people together, and some people are, of course, are more competitive than others, but ultimately, it's good stuff. It's good vibes. So, and you're doing that in existing and showing your love. So, your love for things. So, I mean, what?
Thank you. Yeah, I had to figure out what was the best way for me. I started with Twitch streaming because, I'm a gamer. And people ask me, why did you stop streaming? Because it's not like, people didn't want to show up. People were there. It was too much for me. Like, it was giving me anxiety, feeling like I had to entertain people right then and there. I was missing comments because everyone wanted to talk to me and I couldn't keep up with it and play the game at the same time. Like, kudos to the people that can do that. I cannot. So I started putting more time into the other social media platforms, and I realized this works better for me because I can respond to people when I want to. I can be around when I want to, instead of right then at the moment. I get to pick and choose what I'm comfortable with. So I was like, you know what, streaming isn't really my thing as an introvert, but I can do this, right? Podcasts and stuff like that. I'm trying to incorporate some more IG lives, but it's the same feeling for me with the Twitch streaming. It's the same thing. So you just gotta figure out what works well for you.
Mm-hmm, definitely. Les Brown called it, I think, the calculated risk.
Right.
The calculated risk. You do your comfort. It's funny because there's a proverbial thin line between challenging yourself and pushing yourself a little bit versus making yourself uncomfortable. And that's
right.
You want to challenge yourself, but like you said, you want to stay within those parameters that you have.
Exactly. Yeah.
And yet again, as a wisdom, mm-hmm. And I'm grateful for you sharing this, because through our email correspondence, you educated me on a couple things just in your just in your presentation. I was like, hey, that's a good idea. Like, yeah. So
I need to know what's going on. Like,
yes, it really is. Now the application of knowledge is power all day.
It is. Yes.
You said you spoke about, and I seen it on your page, you got to meet Kevin Eastman. Is Peter Lorre still around?
So he's still around, but he's not traveling.
Oh. Okay.
So that's a huge bummer for me because I haven't met him yet. I'm trying to figure out a way to make my way to him. But I guess with his medical situations he's got going on, he no longer does Comic-Cons and stuff like that. Okay.
Well, you being the super fan that you are, you'll meet him as well.
I'm working on it. I'm getting some strong TMNT people to back me, so I'm working on it.
It's only a matter of time. I'm looking forward to you posting about meeting him as well.
Thank you. Hopefully soon.
Yeah. No, it's coming for sure. It has to.
I have to. Kevin was awesome, right? Like, I was worried about meeting him because I didn't want to be disappointed, right? But he was so awesome, so nice, so personable, so easy to talk to. Gave me plenty of time, right? He wasn't like a hurry up and get out of here.
Okay.
It truly was, and I don't say this a whole lot, but it was a blessing to meet him because I don't fangirl over people, but I wanted to meet one of the creators of someone who had a huge impact on my life.
For sure.
But to meet Peter Laird, like the guy who actually favors Donatello, that's his guy. I just feel like I need that. That's my bucket list item. I have to.
Well, I'm going to reiterate, I'm looking forward to when you meet him and post about it, because that's definitely coming.
I'll be sure to tag you. Look,
Instagram.
I did this.
Near me. I'm looking forward to it. Number one, you're gorgeous. So it's no question or wonder why anybody would not be personable. When you have the right, when you're in the right environment or you have the right circumstance present themselves to you, people have a way of cleaning up their act. The biggest knuckleheads will, this is not saying that Kevin Eastman, I'm not saying he's not a nice guy, period. I'm sure he is, but you drop a gorgeous woman in front of 99.9% of the men, and they are going to be the nicest guys on the planet. So I will
say it does help.
Yes,
I don't come off aggressive or negative energy. So I think the face that's okay to look at, plus I sound like a chipmunk, so I'm not threatening.
I wasn't going to say anything about the chipmunk thing, but now that you mentioned it, I'm still not going to dwell on it. It just, you put it out there.
I've come to terms with it. It is what it is.
Listen, you put it out there. I'm just going to scratch my head and nod. I'm not going to give it much energy. That's what I was going to ask you about. What do you and your brother have against Rocksteady? I seen a video and I was horrified.
Wait, you see his head up there?
Oh my gosh! Don't make me look. Don't make me look.
That's his head, y'all.
Don't
That's
make
his
me look.
head.
Don't take me. I was trying to get that. What did he do? What?
So Rocksteady murders Donatello in the comics. Issue 44, the IDW series. He takes a sledgehammer and basically separates his legs from his body. So it's a really gruesome issue. It's tough to read, even talking to other turtle fans, especially ones that are deep into the comics and that are into that gore type violent stuff. Even they said that was a hard issue to read. So I will say, before reading that issue, I did have a personal thing with Rocksteady. I just didn't care for the dude. Like, the way he calls everyone, says toidle. I'm just like, dude, I don't like you. And then when I read that issue, it was a wrap for me. So if I ever see Rocksteady in the streets,
he got it coming.
Going down.
Jeez, any indication of which I did to his head, man.
Okay.
That was rough. Now that's interesting. I was going to ask you about that because clearly, not only are you a fan of the animated versions and have respect for the live action, but you do read the comics.
I do read the comics. Yes, I took a break from the IDW series and made a goal to reread all of the original Archie Adventures Ninja Turtle comics that came out, which is very similar to the cartoons.
Okay.
So I'm nearly finished with that. Obviously, I took a break to read like The Last Ronin and stuff like that. I'm reading the Armageddon game, and I'm reading the Saturday Morning comics that they just started up again, which is similar to the cartoons kind of, but they're different stories.
Okay.
And then I will revisit back to the IDW series. I just thought, since I grew up with the cartoons and, such a huge fan, I didn't really start reading the comics until a few years ago because I'm stubborn and, like I said, loyal to the things that started it. But as a Ninja Turtle fan, I wanted to be aware of these different universes and different stories that come up. Okay. So I've really started to really dive deep into the comics. And you know what? Even though I was not happy to read like The Last Ronin. I am enjoying the comics of the more mature reading, I guess. Mm-hmm. Whereas the Archie comics, you know, they're like the cartoons, so they're, you know, they're cute, and I like to laugh. Like I'm not really a dark person, so I pay for that type of media, but I'm stepping outside of my comfort zone and reading the IDW stuff, and I like it. Yeah.
Okay. It's interesting because I remember I need, and I'm gonna ask you. I have to maybe you can email me some recommendations, because I've only ever known, I knew about the comic series, and I remember hearing that the series I can't remember which one it was, but was pretty graphic and pretty violent as opposed to what we had been privy to in the film and in the animated stuff. So I'm curious as to, actually, when you said that, I can't remember what your verbiage was, forgive me, in terms of when you read the Last Ronin, you were saying you kind of got through it. Was your enjoyment hindered by the fact that, like you said, you're not a dark person, or was it just knowing the fate that they ultimately met, being the fan?
Oh yeah, it's all of that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just not a very dark person. So those type of stories in general do not entertain me, because you know, I smile and laugh all the time. That's all that I do.
For sure.
But as an adult and appreciating, you know, there's things that happen in you know, that we can't control, and things in life, and that's just the way it is. I do appreciate the story. I thought it was well written. It's a different story, you know, that we're used to hearing. So I enjoyed that aspect of it. I just did not enjoy, you know, ultimately the demise of my 4 favorite things in life. So like,
yeah, no doubt. Understandably so. You know, you said something a little earlier that's really, it's trying to find a way to articulate it, forgive me. We'll just say it's good stuff. It's good stuff. And I say that in the sense of, you were saying you laugh and you smile a lot, and that's good. And I was just talking to my uncle when I was taking him to supper earlier, you know, about just, I mean, we have a decision to make. We live life, and we had uncomfortable circumstances, and some people make the decision to still shine and to still smile despite the circumstances, and some people do not. That is what it boils down to. And you know, you're a human being, so of course you've experienced things, and I love the fact that you still decide to shine. That's a beautiful thing. You're welcome. And it's encouraging and it's uplifting, and we can all learn from that. You know, my personal thought is, like, for myself personally, the more that I focus on the things that I'm grateful for, it makes life a lot more comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, just being grateful for simple things like food in the refrigerator, money in the account, a roof over my head when it's cold outside, and, you know, cooling stuff when it's hot. You know what I mean? Just simple things. Attitude of gratitude goes a long way. You know what I mean? So just hearing you talk about smiling and laughing, and that's a major part of what you do, that's refreshing. So thank you for sharing that. I appreciate
You're welcome. Yeah. I have like a very small example of that. There was, sorry, I don't know if you can hear that. My children outside are barking at our neighbor's dogs. My children, as in my dogs.
Sure. And I got two kids. That's the case upstairs myself. So.
Okay.
Yeah, they haven't barked, so thank you.
There was this video that there's this video that a small graphic person. I don't mean to say small. It was very impressive. Did a video of the animated Donatello fighting off these foot soldiers.
Okay.
And the Donatello looks almost like this Donatello, but a little bit more real life.
Nice. Okay.
It's dope. It's well done, right? Myself and another Ninja Turtle fan who was female and who also likes Donatello a lot. We were tagged on that video, I want to say a couple hundred times, right? Yeah. To the point where I checked out of social media that the rest of the day, right? Because it was a lot.
Yeah.
So I checked out, right? Because it was overwhelming.
Okay.
And for a moment, it was frustrating because when you tag people or look at the likes, you're following that person, you'll see that the person that you're following, if they liked it, you'll see their name first before the numbers, right?
Sure.
To get tagged that many times and no one noticed that I was already tagged on that video, for a moment, I was frustrated when I turned it off because I was like, you know what? I can't deal with this today. This is a lot. Like my phone was, I was trying to figure out how to remove Instagram completely without losing my account.
Right.
But then I had to take a step back and I was like, you know what? Instead of being frustrated, how cool is it that many people thought of me to tag me on this video? You know, I had a choice. I could be frustrated that I thought that people just didn't notice, or I could be grateful that I made enough of a presence that I was the first thing that people thought of when they saw that video. And I relayed that to the other female. She was upset. She was very upset. And I was like, no, like this is actually really cool. So instead of being upset about it, I think this is something to smile about.
Yeah. That's a you know, we're human. So you got the shock. That's understandable.
Yeah,
the shock. Like, what did you got? You know,
right.
that makes that. When I see anything turtle, immediately come to mind. So I'll definitely keep that in mind.
No, like I'm not saying like don't like not think of me, but that one video all day, it was a lot. Like I couldn't video chat or voice chat or do anything because stuff kept coming up. It was excessive, but again, I was like, that's pretty cool that many people thought of me. And took the time to send me the video, even though I had seen it a billion times, commented, liked it, followed it, posted it, reposted it. It doesn't matter. They thought of me, and that's something, you know, to be happy about.
The stuff like that is what makes me have to reiterate that you want to get to meet Peter Lair, you know, and get that autograph and have that conversation. I'm just saying.
I'm working on it.
So I hopefully you'll have some a hint of purple on or wearing something Donatello when you meet him.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Without trying to freak him out. It's my goal. Is a thin line that I'm a fan and not a weirdo.
No. Listen, you said that he has the comparison of Donatello. You said that he compares as his favorite, something along those lines.
Yeah, that's his guy. One of the co-creators. That's his favorite turtle. So yeah.
So you're gonna be all right. All you gotta do is wear some purple, you know, and it's gonna go fine. Even if you do decide to get a little maniacal with it, I think he'd be okay. I think he'll understand. Just smile.
So yeah.
What would you say to a person that's going through tough times, facing adversity? What encouragement would you share with them?
Oh gosh.
Whatever comes to mind, take your time with it. If nothing comes to mind, it's okay. But if you got something for me, what you got?
You know, I don't have like like a phrase or something really crazy, but I would just encourage them, not to give up and to push through it. I think we quit sometimes. Before we give ourselves really a chance to get through it. And, there are things in life that are just not fair. And that's just how it is. Some things are not fair for other people that it doesn't affect, other people. I don't want to get completely into that, but there are things in life that we have no control over, right? And it just sucks. So I would just encourage them to just keep pushing and just keep doing you. Just keep worrying about what you can control and go from there.
That works. Good stuff. What is a word of encouragement, or what's some advice that you wish someone had shared with you when you were facing a tough time?
I wish somebody would have just straight up said, stop being a bitch. Okay. That resonates with me.
Okay.
I like to think that, I try to be strong. I'm 5'2". I'm very short.
Are you really?
And, yeah, I'm a little chick, dude. You can tell in my voice, dude. I got
What'd you tell?
voice.
Listen, I thought we agreed we were not going to revisit that. I wasn't going to say anything about the Chipmunks and Alvin Simon.
I know you said you weren't, but I know what I'm working with, okay? I know what I'm working with. Dude, suck it up would be my words of encouragement. I'm a tough love type person. When I do speak, I'm very blunt, so I don't fit well for a lot of people that can't take, that type of strong words. But if you're gonna ask me, I'm gonna just tell you to suck it up and figure it out. You can do it.
Yeah. That'll work. You I was gonna ask you also, the video that they sent you 1 million times.
Yeah.
What can you tell me where I can view that? Or
would you like me to send it to you?
I'm a little nervous.
I can send it, dude. The video is amazing. It's really short, just a few seconds, and it's really impressive, really creative. I'm hoping the young man that created this video is got big things coming in the works, because that type of video needs to be in the theaters. Seriously. Okay. So I will be happy to send it to you because it's amazing, and I have many copies to send. I can just pick one.
All right. Well, thank you. Yes, please send that to me. I just wanted to make sure that there was going to be no hostilities, or I wasn't going to get in trouble with you for asking why, bringing up that viral video moment memory. You can hear the nervousness in my voice.
No, I'm okay now. I'm good. The views are down. And you want to know the thing that also I was just a tad bit disappointed about was that they sent me the video from the account that reposted it, and not from the original creator, right? So when I reposted it, just be like, okay, look, y'all, I've seen this. But if you're gonna share it from the guy who created it. Right. Like the other account had like a couple 100,000 views, and his only had like 30. So I was like,
oh man, okay.
Help a brother out.
Yeah. Real talk. Dang. Okay. Yeesh.
But I will send it to you. It's really good.
I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to that. I appreciate, and I meant to say this at the beginning, probably because I was rambling about my uncle and stuff or so, and apologizing. But
no worries.
Listen, Queen G, thank you so much for taking the time to have a conversation with me.
Of course. And
I appreciate you sharing a portion of information as it relates to your love of all things retro and the Turtles and not Leonardo, I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, and not Raphael, but
wow, we just gonna flex real quick. Okay.
What's the name? Oh, Donatello.
Wow. Yes.
You know what? That it's been a long day. That came out wrong, but thank you for sharing some of your passion with me. I truly appreciate the time.
No, thank you so much for inviting me. It was a fun chat, and I definitely enjoyed myself.
And I as well. And I look forward to more out of you posting about the upcoming guests that you're going to meet soon.
Yes.
And everything else that you're doing, you're doing good stuff, man. I'm enjoying your content, and I appreciate it. And I know I speak on the behalf of many others, you know, as it relates to your content and what you do. You shine, and we see you. We appreciate you.
Thank you. I'm going to send this to you right now as soon as we get off, so I don't forget.
Okay, thanks. I appreciate that. And
Alrighty.
I'm going to send this to you when it's all edited and done.
Okay, cool. And I can share it?
Yeah, absolutely. Have at it.
Alrighty. Well, have a wonderful rest of your Sunday.
Thank you so much. You as well. Thanks again for your time.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Take care.